Hi everyone, Hugo here, one of the co-hosts of the show. What you're about to watch is a highlight from one of our most recent episodes. To get access to the full version, receive 2 exclusive episodes a month, get every episode 1 week early, and help us stay as independent as possible, support us on Patreon through the link below. Thank you. Now enjoy the show. Would be very interesting to hear your perspective on, and that is everything that has been happening in Sudan. How this horror that is unfolding in front of our eyes came to be, and what's currently happening.
Sudan's case is it's quite a disaster what's going on there. You see, Sudan today is the result of 30 plus years of militarized rule. We have proxy warfare, a failed transition that left two armed giants in one state. Now, that is the army and the RSF. So you must have heard of this guy, Omar al-Bashir. That's the dictator that was overthrown in 2018, 2019, thereabout.
Yep.
Yeah. So he was the architect of all of this horror in Sudan right now. So to understand what's happening right now in today's Sudan, you have to understand that the country never really left military rule. It only changed uniforms. Omar al-Bashir ruled from 1989 to 2019, and he came to power in a coup. He used Islamist ideology, ethnic militia, all these things we've talked about today. He used divide and rule tactics. And then in Darfur, in 2003, the famous genocide that happened there, the regime decided to arm Arab militias. Those guys were at the time referred to as the Janjaweed. And the decision came from there was this rebel group that woke up in Darfur and decided to protest against the marginalization of the non-Arab people in the country. So Omar al-Bashir decided to arm this Janjaweed militia to fight against the rebel group. This is the origin of the RSF. So this RSF were not any trained military group. They didn't go through any training of any sort to teach them how to handle civilians, how to conduct themselves in war, nothing of such. So Janjaweed militias are formed, they were later formalized into the Rapid Support Forces by al-Bashir. And the reason he did this was to call it the coup-proof, that is to protect himself from the country's military, that is the army now, so they don't remove him from power. So they were like checkmating themselves, the RSF against the army. So this structure was existing right from al-Bashir's time. But the whole thing that turned this group into what they are now is the introduction of this Hamdan Dagolo guy. This guy they call Hemeti now, the leader of the RSF. He was the one that created the empire of RSF as it is today. He turned it into what it is today. Because in 2017, he happened to seize this gold mining site. He seized it with the help of his militia fighters and then funneled smuggled gold from there into Dubai. This was how the connection was established between himself and the Emirati government now. So all the smuggled goods from these mines were shipped out and sold in Dubai, from where everybody gets their gold, you get. But the funds from this mine was not given to the government or anything. He used it to arm this group and then build his own personal war chest. From here, the RSF was now both an army and a business empire. They control gold mine, they control border, and they were also now receiving mercenary contracts. When the UAE government contracted them to help their fight in Yemen, it was reported that each of the fighters got paid upward of $2,300 per soldier. And he had over 100,000 of these guys in the RSF unit. This is a private militia.
Jesus
numbering
Christ.
up to 100,000
That's
people.
insane. Now experienced and trained. Yeah.
How do you have that in the country? Like, you have your own, the country has an army, and then there's a private militia group with 100,000 people. And then 2019 came, the uprising, and there was this illusion of transition into democracy. There were mass protests. These protests now toppled Bashir. And Hemeti, being a very smart guy, decided to ally with the people just at the right time. Bashir had given him all of this power. But now seeing that this popular movement against Bashir was going to topple the Bashir government, he decided, he and the Al-Burhan guy, the general in charge of the SAF, that the Sudanese People's Army, they decided to ally with the people against Bashir and topple his government. And herein comes the problem. We now have three people vying for power. First, the civilians want democracy, but the military say not yet. But the RSF also said, well, we kind of want our own thing here. We don't want to be part of the military. And therein was the problem. The military wanted to integrate the RSF into the armed forces of Sudan to make it one, so that Al-Burhan can control RSF. But the Hemeti guy, if this was done, was going to lose access to his gold mines. And then he could no longer outsource his guy.
And Dubai was going to lose access to the gold mine as well. Yeah,
exactly. So he quickly decided, no, this is not going to happen for me. And the fight between Burhan and Hemeti began. This led to the civil war we're witnessing right now. But why is the UAE involved? And how are they involved? Now, whether people believe it or not, the UAE is funding majority of the violence happening in Darfur right now. Our next upload is about that particular story. It's a wild story. You have the UAE building what they called humanitarian hospitals in Chad border, and then in these hospitals they send planes with supplies that's supposedly humanitarian aid, right? But when you open them up, they're weapons.
Wow.
And these weapons are being trucked out to the RSF unit. So Dubai is kind of funding the RSF. Dubai is getting supplies of gold from Hemeti. And Dubai has been funding agricultural projects in Sudan. So it's more than just gold for them. For Dubai's government, this is like trying to capture land as well. Because having Hemeti, because as it is now, you asked about what is currently happening in the country right now. Right now, the country is effectively split. Mm-hmm. There is the RSF controlled region and then the Sudanese army controlled region. So I think what Dubai wants is to maintain the status quo so that they have some level of influence over a government having Hemeti in charge, because such a government answers directly to them, and then it will ensure the steady flow of gold. They can also have land to cultivate their agriculture and ship back to themselves. So you see what the UAE government is doing here, using their money to fund all of these wars outside, gaining influence, arming these terrible, what do I call them, dictators? I don't want to use the word dictator. Arming these strong men, men. And then just the civilians dying in mass. It's horrible. Over 150,000 people already reported killed. These are civilian numbers. Civilians.
Absurd. It's God.
Yeah.
One thing that I cannot explain to myself to an extent is, okay, it is a fight over resources. It is a foreign state financially motivating a strongman, basically an extremely experienced private military that, basically wants to cut out a country for themselves together with their partners. But when you're doing something like this, again, I'm going to come off as a naive for the second time today. Why commit so many atrocities? Isn't that bad for business? Now everybody's looking at Sudan. If they were doing this without literally pulling women and children out of their houses and shooting them at the back of the head, there would be less attention on this. Why such ferocity in what the RSF is doing?
During my research into this topic, I found that the way Omar al-Bashir was rewarding them in the early days was that when they fight wars like this, especially in the Darfur region, the lands they capture becomes theirs.
Oh.
Do you get that?
Oh my God, yes.
So you are not fighting for money now. Whatever you capture in this war, spoils of war. Do you understand? This is sort of like the Vikings movement. You destroy this thing, whatever you find there is yours. So this is basically arming mad people, and whatever they capture in war becomes theirs. Be it women, be it children, be it land. They just level everything. And to make it worse, they are carrying out these atrocities against the non-Arab people. That is the most important part, which makes this ethnic cleansing.
Thank you for watching. To gain access to the full episode, receive 2 exclusive episodes a month, get every episode 1 week early, and help us stay as independent as possible, support us on Patreon through the link below.